So today, we are now talking about India. Ancient India, dating back to 2500 BC, was home to advanced cities like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, famous for urban planning and drainage systems. This civilization fostered trade, craftsmanship, and connection with Mesopotamia. India also helps science and mathematics, introducing zero and the place value system. Spiritually, the Vedas guided Hinduism, while Buddhism spread its influence across Asia. Social organization of ancient India. India's society was divided into a strict caste system that lasted for more than 3,000 years. This system, believed to be divinely ordained, left no room for social mobility. At the very top were the Brahmins, priests and scholars who guided religion and knowledge. Below them were the Kshatriyas, the warriors and the rulers who defended and governed the land. The Vaishyas came next, made out of merchants, traders, and farmers who kept the economy alive. After them were the Shudras, who served, and laborers. At the very bottom were the Harijans, or the untouchable, considered outcasts by society, who cleaned the places outside the city and cleaned the human waste. The rigid caste system became deeply rooted in Hindu culture and shaped daily life in ancient India. Economic organization of ancient India. India's economy in ancient times was largely based on farming. Religions prohibited meat consumption, which led to a mostly vegetarian diet. The people grow wheat, barley, sesame, legumes, dates, and melons. Textile were important too, as they produced wool and cotton cloth using spinning mills. Livestock such as oxen, cattle, buffalo, and even elephants were raised. Industry thrived with silver, gold, ivory, and precious or stone ornaments, while copper was commonly used for tools. Trade brought great wealth, as India exported luxury goods like semi-precious stone, jewelry, art objects, and Indus pottery. Across Asia, Indian-made cups, crockery, and even flower pots were found, often inscribed with their unique writing system.
Religion greatly influenced the way political systems were organized in early societies. In fact, religious authority often carried more weight than political power itself. Unlike in some cultures, where rulers were considered divine, kings and princes here were not viewed as sacred. Instead, their duty was to govern under the constant guidance of the priests. Priests held a very important role. They served as advisors to rulers, interpreters of sacred laws, and sometimes even as the final source of the legitimacy for monarchs. This meant that the king's rule was only considered valid if it was reported by religious leaders. Overall, religion was not just a matter of faith, but a foundation for political order and leadership. The earliest religion in India was Buddhism, practiced by the Aryans around the second millennium BC. They worship natural forces such as the sun, fire, and storms, and perform complex rituals led by priests. They also believe in the mortality of the soul and the cleansing of inherited sins. By around 1000 BC, Brahmanism developed. It was based on sacred texts like the Brahmanas and the Upanishads. This religion introduced the concept of the Trimurti: Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. It emphasized purification, reincarnation, and the ultimate goal of reaching final peace. Later, in the 5th century BC, Buddhism emerged under the teaching of Sakyamuni, or the Buddha. Unlike Brahmanism, Buddhism focused on morality, compassion, and selflessness. It promised nirvana, or liberation, to the righteous while rejecting animal sacrifices and the rigid caste system. The Indus Valley civilization is known for its two major cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. These cities were remarkable because they were built with a citadel, which served as the center for religious and administrative activities, and a larger residential area for the people. What makes them unique is their planned grid of streets, showing how advanced their urban design was for that time. Aside from city planning, These civilizations also practiced agriculture, which supported their daily needs. They developed a writing system that remains undeciphered today, and they were skilled artisans who produced jewelry, pottery, and terracotta figures. All of this reflect not only their creativity, but also their highly organized way of life.
I am going to tackle the ancient Indian scripts and literature and how it shapes the civilization of India during that time. The first one in the first part of our presentation is the Brahmic script, and Brahmic script is considered as the mother of most South and Southeast Asian scripts, the Devanagari, Tamil, Bengali, and etc. It was the primary script used for the Emperor Ashoka's edict in the 3rd century BCE or the before Common Era. And the second one is the Kharosthi script is another important early script primarily used in the northwest of the Indian subcontinent. And the impact of this is two script during that time is the this script made it possible to codify the religious teachings, laws, and history, ensuring their survival and spread beyond oral traditions. In the second section, I will tackle the ancient Indian literature. It is the Indian philosophical and theological knowledge has been transmitted to two main oral traditions. The first one is the Ishruti, which means the heard or revealed, and the next one is the Ismriti, which means remembered or experienced. The foundational texts of this tradition are the four Vedas. The four Vedas include the following. The first one is the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. Which it is composed in Vedic Sanskrit containing hymns, rituals, and early philosophical concepts. In later literature, we have the Sanskrit or the classical Sanskrit. As you can see in the PPT, we have the classical Sanskrit or the monumental Sanskrit epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, which contains the Bhagavad Gita and sophisticated works in classical Sanskrit on pottery, drama, and science. It expanded and interpreted these initial gleanings, establishing the intellectual and spiritual framework of the Indian civilization. The third section is the Aryabhata's contributions. And Aryabhatas made a huge contributions to trigonometry and algebra because he provides complex solutions to mathematical problems. And one of these is the Aryabhatiya systems of numerals in which he used letters of the Indian alphabet to denote numbers. One of the following major contributions is in mathematics, and the second one is the numeration. He also calculated the pi.
Let's talk about Sushruta and Ayurvedic medicine. Sushruta is considered the father of surgery because he recorded about 300 surgical procedures. He is also remembered as the father of plastic surgery in India because of his advanced methods. Two of his most important contributions were rhinoplasty, which is the nose surgery, and cataract surgery. Rhinoplasty in ancient India, people who committed crimes sometimes had their nose cut off as punishment. Sushruta developed a way to rebuild the nose using skin from the cheek or the forehead. This became one of the earliest known examples of plastic surgery. Cataract surgery. When the eye lens became cloudy, it caused blindness. Sushruta described a method called couching, where he used a special instrument to push the cloud lens out of the way. This restored some vision, although it wasn't as effective as modern surgeries. Overall, these methods show how advanced and creative ancient medicine was, even thousands of years ago. Let's proceed to medical innovation in ancient India. Sushruta was the first to perform a type of cataract surgery known as gouging. In this method, he used a special tool to push the cloudy lens of the eye out of the way so that the light could pass through again. This helped the patient regain partial eyesight but not full normal vision because the natural lens was no longer useful, and doctors in that time did not have artificial lens replacement like today. Ayurvedic medicine or Ayurveda is one of the world's oldest healing systems. The word comes from Sanskrit. Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge or science. So Ayurveda is the science of life. It is started in India over 3,000 years ago. Unlike modern medicine, which often focuses mainly on treating symptoms, Ayurveda looks at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. It teaches the good health comes from the balance, and it uses natural remedies like herbs, diet, exercise, massage, meditation, and healthy lifestyle practices to prevent sickness and keep people.
Good day, everyone. Today, I'll give you a quick overview of ancient Indian architecture. Indian architecture reflects rich history and religion. The Hampi ruin shows Dravidian temples with musical pillars and Indo-Islamic designs. The Mount Per caves are 8th century rock-cut shrines for Shiva. Stupa serves as ceremonial burial mounds with intricate carvings. The Sun Temple's conarch is shaped like a giant stone. Chariots aligned with a sunrise and the Eloria caves in Maharashtra displays Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain art through detailed rock carvings and shrines. Next is the Iron Pillar in Delhi. It's over 1,600 years old and remain rust-free, showing advanced ancient metallurgy. The Junagadh caves in Gujarat featured carved look platforms and stairways used by Buddhists. Humayun's tombs in Delhi blends Persian Timurid architecture and inspired the Taj Mahal. The Sun Temple in Connaught is shaped like a massive stone chariot, aligned with the sunrise. Lastly, the Lahore Fort, built during the Mughal era, is a grand fortress known for its decorative and arch and courtyards. The Red Fort, the historic Mughal fort located in Old Delhi, showcasing the empire's power and architecture. Meanwhile, the Taj Mahal in Agra, built from 1632 to 1648, is an iconic white marble mausoleum known as the crown jewel of Mughal architecture. Next, let's talk about ancient Indian literature, arts, and music. Ancient India had a rich cultural heritage in literature, art, and music. Famous literary works include the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas, and Upanishads, which shaped religion and philosophy. In art, Mughal, Rajput, and Bengal paintings flourished alongside grand architectural monuments. In music, great composers like Sri Shyama Shastri, Pundara Dasa, Goswami Dikshitar, and Sri Chagara made lasting contribution to musical Indian music.
Other cultural contributions. In India, many traditions have been preserved since ancient times. We see them in the forts, palaces, monuments, and tombs spread across the land. But India's legacy goes far beyond its borders. Its literature, art, music, and architecture have inspired global culture for centuries, from the storytelling of the Ramayana and Mahabharata to Indian motifs in painting, dance, and even modern films. India's creativity continues to shape the world. This lasting influence shows that India's heritage is not only national but truly universal. For our scientific contributions, in ancient India, remarkable scientific minds made discoveries that shaped knowledge for centuries. Aryabhata explained that principles of algebra, trigonometry, and astronomy. He revealed that the Earth rotates on its axis and that the moon and planets do not shine on their own, but reflect sunlight. Building on this, Brahmagupta defined zero as a number, a breakthrough that transformed mathematics, and he also refined calculations of the Earth's size and the timing of eclipses. In medicine, Sushruta, often called the father of surgery, described over 300 procedures, including cataract removal and even nose reconstructions. Techniques for ahead of his time. Alongside this, Ayurveda, the science of life, emphasized the balance between body and mind using diet, yoga, and herbal remedies. Together, these contributions highlight India's scientific legacy, a legacy that continues to influence modern mathematics, medicine, and holistic health around the world.
Now, to conclude the report, ancient India truly showed how advanced early civilization could be. They built planned cities, created the key system, and focused on farming and trade. Their people valued religion, art, and science, especially Aryabhata, who made great discoveries in math and astronomy. Because of their achievements, many of India's ancient tradition and knowledge still influence our world today. This is our reference list. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.